For centuries, popes have lived much longer than the average person of their day. But how do they do it? What are their secrets? Well, let's take a look at our most recent modern pope, Pope Francis, and examine how exactly he was able to maintain such strong mental acuity and physical stamina well into his 80s, even after undergoing a major vital organ removal surgery at a very young age. Starting with his dietary routine, Pope Francis followed a very steady eating schedule: 15 minutes for breakfast, 40 to 50 minutes for lunch, and up to 1 hour for dinner. Spacing out meals like this allows the body to slowly and properly absorb nutrients, creates better digestion, and improves gut health. It also helps prevent overeating, as it gives the body time to create signals that it sends to your brain saying, hey, I've had enough to eat. I don't need to eat anymore. This routine also helps steady blood sugar levels, giving you consistent energy throughout the day. And the source of the food that goes into this eating schedule, to me, is quite fascinating and very impressive. It comes from 62 acres of farmland at Castel Gandolfo, for centuries a place that's been a summer residence of popes. It's a simple farm with only 7 workers, and it's incredibly close to the Vatican, just 24 kilometers away, or about 15 miles. When you're eating fresh foods, this helps the food hang on to vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that are beneficial for you to ingest. Also, small-scale, carefully managed farms typically have a lot less chemicals in the food, which can be harmful to you. Things like pesticides or additives. And the meals that were created for Pope Francis from these amazing ingredients were often, to his desire, quite simple. Simple dishes like rice, pasta, or soup with bread, paired with a simple juice. Dinners could also include baked chicken with rice, fruit, and a glass of wine. Simple meals with grains, proteins, fruits, and vegetables offer the body an amazing mix of essential nutrients. And these simple preparations are much easier on the digestive system than overly complex processed foods. In fact, the Pope would go out of his way to avoid eating foods that were incredibly spicy or very greasy in order to not irritate his body. A low inflammation diet like this is incredibly helpful for health and longevity. Now, the Pope, as we know, is from Argentina and is the son of Italian immigrant parents. And this is reflected in some of his favorite foods and drinks. These include membrillo, a thick, sweet paste made from cooked quince fruit, often paired with cheese or bread. Empanadas, a stuffed pastry typically filled with meat, cheese, or vegetables, and baked or fried until golden. For a treat, alfajor, a soft, crumbly cookie sandwich filled with dulce de leche and often coated in chocolate or powdered sugar. Mate, a South American tea-like drink made from yerba mate leaves, known for its earthy taste and energizing effect. Some of the recipes to these simple dishes and favorite foods can be found in the Vatican cookbook. And while the Pope maintains this healthy eating routine at home, when he's out traveling the world, he gives himself permission to explore the food in the area. When on a trip to New York City in 2015, he ate out at a restaurant called Vivolo, and according to the workers there, didn't give too many notes or dietary restrictions, showing that going out, experiencing things is just as important as the consistent routine that you maintain when you're in your daily life. And I'd be amiss if I didn't mention that he also loved, of course, pasta and pizza, although he had to have it in moderation. He loved pizza so much that he once said, "The only thing I would like is to go out one day without being recognized and go to a pizzeria." And having been to Roman pizzerias myself, I completely understand where he's coming from. Now, one of the biggest drivers of living a long life is how you live it when you're young. And popes, as crazy as it sounds, weren't born popes. And before there was Pope Francis, there was Jorge Bergoglio of Argentina. As the Pope was formerly a bouncer, he no doubt needed to keep in great shape in order to protect the patrons of his nightclub. This was likely a challenge for him though, as in his early 20s, in 1957, he had to have part of his right lung removed. This was due to a severe respiratory infection, which caused significant lung damage. He was critically ill and near death. The doctors found 3 cysts in his lungs and removed the upper lobe of his right lung to prevent the infection from spreading. Overcoming all of this, he found ways to exercise that were quite entertaining. He said that he loved to dance the tango, a dramatic, passionate partner dance that originated in Argentina and Uruguay, set to rhythmic, emotional music, emphasizing sharp footwork, quick pivots, and dramatic pauses. No doubt a great cardio exercise. He also walked a lot while he was a priest, archbishop in Buenos Aires. He believed in meeting people where they were, and whether it was walking from parish to parish or from slum to slum to meet the people there, this is what he spent his day doing. Regular walking improves cardiovascular fitness and reduces the chances of heart disease and stroke. It also enhances brain function and lowers the risk of dementia. However, the job of being a pope is quite busy. Pope Francis once commented on this. "I don't do any physical activity. My doctor has recommended it, but my answer is always the same. I don't have time." And while he didn't have time to exercise, he did host and attend many sport-related events and ceremonies, promoting the health benefits as well as the spiritual benefits of coming together as a community and connecting with one another. And while Pope Francis may not have been able to maintain a consistent exercise routine as Pope, there was another modern Pope, a Pope that was incredibly impressive for his exercise routine and fitness regimen, a Pope that was known as the athlete Pope, who was so strong and so robust that he was able to survive a brutal assassination attempt. But more on him later. For now, let's examine Pope Francis's rest and recovery routine. Starting with the midday, Pope Francis would always take a nap after lunch. "My siestas are sacred," he said. "I sleep deeply as if it were nighttime." Regular midday naps help improve memory, reduce stress, and increase energy and focus throughout the day. And speaking of naps, it's quite incredible where he slept for 12 years as Pope. Although the Vatican is quite impressive, as I can say myself, having toured the area back in 2019, and my goodness, was it beautiful. The Pope did not sleep in a grand palatial bedroom, but rather here in room 201 of Casa Santa Marta. He did so because he wanted to stay close to people, avoid isolation, and live out his belief that church leaders should model humility and simplicity. When dealing with anxiety or challenging situations, the Pope would often turn to listening to classical music. Specifically, Bach was one of his favorites. Classical music helps calm the nervous system. It can help reduce anxiety, slow your heart rate, and promote emotional stability. And of course, he was the Pope, so he engaged in lots and lots of daily prayer. Daily prayer deepens trust in God's plan, helping to reduce fear, anxiety, and despair. Regular prayer invites the Holy Spirit into daily life, fostering a calm and centered heart. Prayer can also lower blood pressure and improve overall health by reducing stress responses through faith and surrender. With all these practices, he was able to live to age 88. And while that's quite impressive, there was another modern pope, the athlete pope that I referred to earlier. He was extremely active both before and during his time as pope, and this level of health, wellness, and robustness allowed him to survive a particularly brutal assassination attempt at the age of 60. This was Pope John Paul II, served as pope for the second longest amount of time ever, 26 years. Now, to call this assassination attempt an attempt is putting it mildly. Just listen to this story of what happened. On May 13th, 1981, Pope John Paul II was shot 4 times in St. Peter's Square by a gunman while in front of a public audience. The Pope was critically wounded, with bullets striking his abdomen, hand, and arm, and he was rushed to the hospital in Rome immediately. He underwent 5 hours of emergency surgery and lost 3/4 of his blood but somehow miraculously survived. After a long recovery, he forgave the assassin and even visited him in prison. Now, what sort of exercise routine may have assisted with the Pope surviving and recovering from such a horrifying event? Well, prior to becoming Pope, he was an avid sportsman, enjoying activities like hiking, swimming, and skiing. While Pope, he was able to find time to engage in frequent exercise, often jogging around the Vatican gardens. But he would also sneak out to the mountains from time to time, enjoying epic hikes and skiing trips in the Alps. Staying active through sports like hiking, swimming, and jogging helped Pope John Paul II build strong cardiovascular health, resilience, and mobility well into old age. Outdoor activities also boosted his mental well-being by reducing stress and fostering a deep sense of joy and peace. His perspective on the importance of keeping fit can best be described using his own words. Pope John Paul II decided he was going to build a swimming pool at the summer residence. When questioned on the cost of the installation by cardinals, Pope John Paul II joked, "Cheaper than another conclave."